Her laughter echoed through our home, but it wasn't for me. That was the moment I knew our vows were ash. If this story stirred something in your heart, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe to Revenge Forge, where every story reminds us that pain can lead to power. My name's Casey Bramwell, a 38-year-old financial consultant at a wealth management firm in Denver, Colorado. Life was a steady ledger balance, secure ours. Bethany, my wife of 5 years, was a 30-year-old marketing strategist with a spark that could light up a boardroom. We had it all: a craftsman bungalow in Wash Park Brewery, crawls on weekends, and quiet nights by our fire pit. My firm handled $40 million in client portfolios, pulling in $175,000 a year for me. Bethany's campaigns for tech startups netted $85,000, enough for her to collect mid-century art and for us to plan a Tuscany getaway. No kids yet, but we'd talked about naming a daughter Elise over bourbon. Our crew guys, like my best friend Shane and Bethany's confidant Nora, saw us as bulletproof. A dream team. Until the numbers stopped adding up. It started subtle, like a misaligned budget. Bethany's client dinners ran late, her perfume bolder, her kisses distracted. Her phone, once an open book, now stayed locked, buzzing at odd hours. "Just work," she'd murmur, brushing her fingers across my jaw. I bought it. She was my Bethany, vibrant, loyal mine. But doubt is a quiet thief. Her smiles felt staged, her excuses too sharp. She'd slip out for strategy sessions in dresses that screamed desire, not deadlines. The first crack came 6 months ago. I was crunching a $5 million client portfolio, eyes glazed from spreadsheets, when Bethany texted she'd be late a pitch meeting. I got home at 9 p.m., the house dark, her Audi gone. Odd. I called. Voicemail. At 10 p.m. she breezed in, lips glossy, hair tousled. "Client drinks ran long," she said, her voice like velvet. Her breath carried gin, not her usual Pinot. I nodded, ignoring the knot in my gut. Work, I told myself. Just work. But the knots grew. She started wearing lingerie. I didn't recognize red silk, not my taste. Her purse held a hotel receipt I'd never seen, $250 for one night. Once I caught her whispering into her phone, "Not tonight, he's around," before hanging up fast. "Who was that?" I asked, calm. She laughed too bright. "Nora, freaking out about a campaign." Her eyes slid away. I let it pass, but sleep became a stranger. Shane saw it first. We were at a rooftop bar, Denver's skyline glittering below. "Bethany's acting strange," he said, voice low. "Saw her at a lounge last week, too close with some slick guy. Didn't look like a client." My jaw clenched, but I waved it off. "She's pitching." Shane raised an eyebrow. "Pitching doesn't lean that close." His words stuck a splinter I couldn't pull. The truth hit like a freight train on a snowy Wednesday. I'd left the office early, Denver's streets dusted white. Bethany was at a consulting gig. Her laptop sat on the kitchen island, a rare slip. I wasn't snooping, not really, but a notification pinged. From Tyson Caldwell. Subject tonight. My pulse spiked. I clicked. "You're my rush, Beth. 8 p.m., the Brown Palace. That dress kills me." The world tilted. Bethany. The Brown Palace. I scrolled, hands trembling. Emails flirty, raw, stretching back months. Tyson Caldwell, 36, a tech entrepreneur with a $20 million startup and a shark's charm. Photos: Bethany in his penthouse, her lips brushing his cheek. One line gutted me: "Casey's too busy with portfolios to notice." We're clear. My wife, my life, a lie. I didn't yell. I didn't break anything. I saved the emails to a drive, my heart a drum, and locked it in my safe. When Bethany got home at 11 p.m., snowflakes in her hair glowing, I played the part. "Tough night?" I asked, voice smooth. She nodded, kicking off her boots. "Yeah, clients are needy." I smiled, but inside I was a furnace, rage, hurt, and something sharper. Control. The next week I became a ghost in my own life. I watched her every move. Her laughs were too bright, her excuses too neat. I dug into Tyson. His LinkedIn painted a hustler, smooth, ruthless, the kind who'd close a deal and steal your soul. I checked Bethany's bank app, $4,000 in unexplained transfers, small enough to miss, big enough to burn. To him, I wasn't sure, but I was done being blind. Shane pushed me to act. We met at a coffee shop, steam curling from our mugs. "Confront her, Case," he said. "This ain't you." I shook my head. "Not yet. I need a scalpel, not a sledgehammer." He grinned, respecting the fire. That's when I remembered Bethany's old tablet tucked in a closet. If it held more, I'd have her. Late that night, while Bethany was at a client dinner, I booted it up. No password, careless. Her cloud synced, and there it was, a folder labeled projects, not marketing plans. Photos of her and Tyson at a rooftop bar, a ski lodge, his arm around her waist. Captions: "You make me feel alive." Her emails to him: "I'm falling Tyson. But Casey's too solid. I'm scared." Solid. The word mocked me. I found a hotel receipt, $500 for a weekend. I copied everything, hands steady despite my rage. Anger didn't cloud me, it focused me. I tracked her. Not proud, but I had to know. One night I tailed her strategy session in Shane's truck. She parked at the Brown Palace, a grand hotel with gilded walls. Through the window I saw her with Tyson, his hand on her thigh, her laugh a knife in my chest. I snapped photos, my grip iron. I wanted to storm in, but I held back. This wasn't about rage, it was about winning. The twist hit at work. I was pitching a $6 million portfolio when my assistant Lila buzzed me. "Someone's here, Casey. Says it's urgent." I frowned. "Who?" She paused. "Nora. Bethany's friend." My gut twisted. Nora. I met her in the lobby, her face pale, eyes darting. "Casey, I'm sorry," she whispered, handing me a flash drive. "I saw Bethany with Tyson last month. I followed them. It's bad." I took it, voice steady. "How bad?" She swallowed. "He's been in your house. I recorded it." I drove to a park, snow heavy, and plugged in the drive. The video was shaky but brutal. Bethany and Tyson in our living room, her on his lap, their laughter filling my home. Timestamp 3 weeks ago when I was at a client dinner. Nora's voiceover: "I didn't want to hurt you, but you need to know." The clip ended with Bethany's whisper: "This is our secret, Tyson. Our home. Our life. Defiled." I didn't crumble. I burned. I hired a private investigator, Elise, a no-nonsense ex-cop with a knack for discretion. Cost me $8,000, but I didn't blink. "Give me everything," I told her. She nodded. 1 week. While Elise worked, I played the perfect husband. I cooked Bethany's favorite risotto, planned a movie night, kissed her like nothing was wrong. She melted into it, her eyes soft, oblivious. But I saw the lies in every touch. Elise delivered in 6 days. We met at a diner, coffee bitter in the air. "Your wife's deep in it," she said, sliding me a folder. Photos: Bethany at Tyson's penthouse, their silhouettes in a window. Phone logs: 95 texts in 3 days. A hotel receipt, $700. And a kicker: Tyson's email to Bethany hacked from his account. "I'm closing a $10 million deal. Come with me to Seattle." Casey's nothing. Seattle. The word was a slap. She wasn't just cheating, she was planning to bolt. I thanked Elise, my voice ice. At home, Bethany was out, another meeting. I sat in my study, the folder open, bourbon burning my throat. I wasn't just fighting for me. I was fighting for the man who'd built this life, who'd trusted her. The man she'd betrayed. My firm was hosting a client summit in 10 days, a glitzy event with 200 investors, including Tyson's startup group. Perfect. I'd turned their game into my battlefield. I called Nora. "You're coming to the summit," I said. "Bring your evidence." She hesitated. "Casey, this could ruin her." I smirked. She ruined herself. Next I looped in Shane. "You're my eyes," I told him. "I need you sharp." He grinned. "Let's make 'em bleed, brother." The summit loomed and I played my role. Bethany was ecstatic, picking a sapphire dress that hugged her curves. I complimented her, my smile ablaze. She had no idea. Neither did Tyson. But I did. And that was power. The summit was my battleground, and I was loaded for war. Denver's convention center thrummed with 200 investors, tech moguls, and corporate heavyweights, their chatter drowned by the clink of crystal flutes under golden chandeliers. Bethany moved like a siren, her sapphire dress catching every eye, her charm disarming a venture capitalist with a laugh that once set my world ablaze. Tyson Caldwell prowled the edges, all sleek menace, closing deals with a predator's ease. They hadn't spotted me blending into the suits with Shane at my side. Elise's folder burned in my jacket. Nora's flash drive, a grenade in my pocket. This wasn't a gala. This was a slaughter. Shane downed his bourbon, eyes sharp. "You ready to torch this case?" I met his gaze, jaw set. "They started the fire. I'm just bringing the blaze." He nodded, sensing the steel in me. Nora lingered near a marble bar, her face tight, clutching a purse that held her video. Bethany and Tyson in our living room, their betrayal caught in stark clarity. She'd done her part. Now it was time for mine. The evening unfolded like a high-stakes heist. Bethany played the perfect wife, gliding between guests, her touch light but calculated. Tyson schmoozed with startup founders, his glances at her too bold, too possessive. I sipped whiskey, counting moves. My firm's summit was a showcase, $40 million in client portfolios, deals like the $6 million wealth plan I'd locked in last month. But tonight wasn't about numbers. It was about truth. The program kicked off. My boss, Victor Langston, took the stage touting our firm's vision. Polite claps followed. Then he waved me up. Casey Bramwell, our top consultant, has a special insight to share. Bethany's eyes sparkled with pride, clueless. Tyson leaned against a bar, smirking. I stepped to the podium, pulse steady, voice like a razor. "Thank you, Victor," I said, scanning the crowd. "We're here to celebrate trust, commitment, the ties that bind." Bethany's smile flickered a shadow of doubt. I plugged the flash drive into the projector. The screen erupted, not with portfolio charts but with Bethany and Tyson. Emails, texts, photos. Her in his penthouse, his hand on her thigh. The gut punch line: "Casey's too busy with portfolios to notice. We're clear." Gasps ripped through the room. Bethany's glass hit the floor, shattering. Tyson's face drained, his charm crumbling. I kept my tone cold, precise. Some ties are woven with lies. Tonight we cut them. I clicked to Tyson's email: "Come with me to Seattle." Casey's nothing. The crowd buzzed, phones flashing as guests recorded. Bethany gripped a chair, eyes wide with panic. Tyson pushed toward the exit, but Shane had tipped off security. They blocked him. I locked eyes with her. "Anything to add, Bethany?" Her mouth opened, silent. I stepped down the room, parting like a wound. Shane grabbed my arm. "You did it, man! Let's go!" But the flames weren't out. Outside, Denver's night was crisp, the city's lights glinting off snow-dusted streets. Tyson was by his Porsche, cursing, keys slipping. I approached, steps deliberate. Running already, he spun, eyes wild. "Bramwell, you'll regret this." I smirked, stepping closer. "Threats? That's your play?" He lunged, but Shane grabbed his shoulder, pinning him. "Cool it, Caldwell, you're done." Tyson yanked free, glaring. "She never loved you. You're nothing." I leaned in, voice low. "Then why's she still my wife?" He climbed into his car, tires screeching as he fled. Back inside, Bethany was gone. Nora found me, her voice shaky. She bolted Casey. I tried to stop her. I nodded, adrenaline fading to ice. Let her run. She can't hide. I drove home, the folder and drive on the seat, my mind replaying Bethany's face, shock, shame, silence. Our bungalow was dark, her Audi absent. I poured bourbon, the burn grounding me. The summit was my opening shot, but this wasn't over. The next morning, my phone lit up. A text from Bethany: "I'm at Nora's. Please, we need to talk." I ignored it. Instead, I called Elise, my PI. "Got more." She chuckled. "You're a bloodhound, Bramwell. Check your inbox." I opened my laptop. A new file, audio from Tyson's penthouse, caught by a legal bug Elise planted. Bethany's voice raw. "This ends now, Tyson. I'm done." Tyson's reply, venomous. "You walk, I'll burn you. I've got your old campaign files. One call and your career's ash." My grip tightened. Campaign files. What the hell? I drove to Nora's, the audio looping in my head. Bethany opened the door, no makeup, eyes hollow. "Casey, I cut her off, raising a hand. "Sit, listen." We sat in Nora's cramped living room, tension choking the air. I played the audio. Bethany's face crumpled as Tyson's threat rang out. "What files?" I demanded. She stared at the floor, voice barely audible. "Before we married, I worked for a shady ad agency. Inflated metrics, faked results. Tyson was their angel investor. I got out, but he kept my signatures. Said he'd leak them if I left him." My pulse roared. "Blackmail." She nodded, tears falling. "I thought I could control it. Then it grew." "I'm so sorry, Casey." I paced, fury and pity clashing. "Why not tell me?" She shook her head. "I was scared, ashamed. I didn't want you to see me like that." I stopped, staring at her. "You didn't trust me. That's worse than the affair." Nora hovered in the doorway, silent, her eyes soft with guilt. I walked out, needing space. Bethany's voice chased me, but I didn't turn back. In my car, I gripped the wheel, mind spinning. Blackmail shady agencies. It sounded like a Reddit stories plot too wild for my life. But Bethany's fear was real. So was Tyson's threat. I needed more than her tears. I needed truth. I met Elise at a diner, grease thick in the air. "Caldwell's a snake," she said, sliding me a folder. "That ad agency's still running. He's skimming $7 million through fake campaigns using Bethany's old signatures to dodge audits." I flipped through forged documents, bank transfers, emails tying Tyson to the agency. If it went public, Bethany could face charges. "Why drag her in?" I asked. Elise sipped coffee. "Control, she's his shield. If she talks, he's exposed. If she stays, he's safe." I leaned back, gears turning. Tyson wasn't just a cheater. He was a criminal, and Bethany, for all her lies, was his pawn. I hated her betrayal, but I saw her trap. Shame locks tighter than chains. I drove to my office, the folder heavy. Lila, my assistant, was there sorting project files. "You look like hell," she said, half smiling. I handed her the folder. "Check this. Tell me it's legit." She scanned it, eyes narrowing. "It's real. This guy's toast if it leaks." The first twist hit like lightning. Lila called at 1 a.m., voice urgent. "Casey, someone's hacked our client database. Tried to flag a $6,500,000 portfolio as fraud. Your name's on it." I rushed to the office, the building dark. Lila pulled up the logs. An IP address traced to Tyson's startup group. He wasn't just after Bethany, he was gunning for me, trying to tank my career. If it stuck, I'd be fired, maybe sued. Lila's eyes blazed. "This asshole's playing dirty. What's the plan?" I smirked, adrenaline surging. "We play dirtier." I called Elise. "Dig into Tyson's accounts, everything." She laughed. "Your tab's growing, Bramwell." I didn't care. This was personal. Elise delivered in 3 days bank records, offshore accounts, emails showing Tyson siphoning $800,000 from his startup. Enough to bury him. But I needed a stage, not just evidence. Shane had a lead. "Tyson's keynoting a tech conference next week," he said. "Big players live stream. Perfect." I nodded. "Let's make it global." I spent days planning. Lila cross-referenced Tyson's scams with our database, building an airtight case. Nora kept tabs on Bethany, who was laying low, unaware of my next move. I didn't want her involved, not yet. The conference was my chance to end Tyson, not just for me, but for every life he'd poisoned. The second twist hit like a freight train. Nora called, voice shaking. "Casey, there's something you don't know about Tyson. He's not just an entrepreneur." I frowned, gripping the phone. "What do you mean?" she swallowed. "He's my ex-fiancé. We split 6 years ago. He's been obsessed with Bethany since I introduced them at a gala." My blood ran cold. Ex-fiancé Tyson wasn't a random lover, he was a vengeful ghost using Bethany to settle old scores. I hung up, mind-reeling. This wasn't just betrayal, it was a vendetta. I didn't tell Bethany. Instead, I dug deeper. Elise hacked Tyson's old personal email, $300 for a dark web contact, and found messages from years ago, Tyson ranting about Nora's new friend Bethany stealing his spotlight. It explained the blackmail, the intensity, the Seattle plan. He didn't just want her. He wanted to destroy me to prove a point. The third twist came from Lila. She called at midnight, voice tense. "Casey, I found something in Tyson's hacked emails. He's not alone. Your boss Victor is in on it." I froze. "Victor?" She nodded. "He's been funneling $900,000 through Tyson's startup to dodge taxes. If you go down, he's clear." My world tilted. Victor, who'd mentored me, backed my deals, hosted our wedding. I scanned the emails, Victor directing Tyson to flag my portfolio, using me as a scapegoat. If it blew, I'd take the fall, not them. I didn't confront Victor. Too risky. Instead, I built a fortress. Elise pulled Victor's accounts, linking him to Tyson's $7 million scam. Lila secured our server, blocking further hacks. By the conference, I had a dossier: Tyson's crimes, Victor's betrayal, Nora's past, Bethany's blackmail. But I needed one more piece. I met Nora at a cafe, snow falling outside. "You owe me the truth," I said. "What else do you know?" She hesitated, then spilled. "Bethany tried to end it last month. Tyson threatened to leak her files to your firm, not just her clients. He wanted to ruin you both." The fourth twist landed like a bomb. Shane called, voice low. "Casey, there's another player. Bethany's been meeting someone else." I gripped the phone, heart pounding. Who? He paused. Her sister Mara. My mind reeled. Mara, Bethany's estranged sister, the one who'd always seemed too involved. Shane continued, I saw them at a bar. Mara handed Tyson a USB. Looked like documents. I hung up, fury boiling. Mara wasn't just family, she was a conspirator. I didn't confront Bethany or Mara. Instead, I dug deeper. Elise traced Mara's emails, $200 for another hack, revealing her resentment. She'd been jealous of Bethany's life, her marriage, her success. Emails to Tyson. She doesn't deserve Casey. Help me fix this. Tyson had played her, using her envy to tighten his grip on Bethany. It wasn't just an affair, it was a web, and I was the target. The conference loomed, and I played my role. Bethany sensed something, her eyes searching mine, but I gave nothing away. She was out of moves, and Tyson didn't know I held the deck. The morning of the conference, I got a voicemail from Bethany. Casey, I'm sorry, Tyson's dangerous, be careful. Her voice cracked, scared. I deleted it. Dangerous men make mistakes. I was counting on it. At the Denver Convention Center, the hall thrummed with energy. 500 investors, cameras rolling, Tyson's keynote set to stream live. He stood backstage, adjusting his tie, oblivious to me in the crowd. Shane was by my side, grinning. Time to light him up, brother. I nodded, my dossier ready. Tyson thought he was untouchable. He was about to learn what falling felt like. The conference stage was my crucible, and I was forged for destruction. Denver's convention center pulsed with 500 investors. Startup tycoons and tech elites, their voices a low roar under the glare of live-stream cameras. Tyson Caldwell owned the spotlight, his keynote on disruptive innovation. Slick as oil, his grin a shield of unshakable confidence. His eyes darted, he knew a storm was brewing. I stood in the crowd, my dossier a guillotine, Shane by my side, his smirk a silent war cry. This wasn't just about Bethany's affair or Victor's betrayal. It was about every lie, every scheme, every moment Tyson thought he could erase me. Shane nudged me, voice low. He's slipping, Case. Hit him now. I nodded, pulse a steady drum. Lila had worked her magic with the AV team, a $4,000 handshake for access, and stood ready at her laptop in the wings. As Tyson rapped his pitch, soaking in applause, I stepped forward, voice cutting through the din. Mind if I share a counterpoint? Tyson's smile froze, his hand twitching. The organizer, a sharp-eyed exec named Claudia, hesitated but waved me up. Keep it brief, Bramwell. I took the mic, facing the crowd, cameras locked on me. Tyson shifted, jaw tight. I'm Casey Bramwell, a financial consultant from Denver, I began. Tyson Caldwell sells disruption, but let's see his shadow. Lila hit play. The screen blazed, not with startup metrics, but with Tyson's sins. Forged ad campaigns, bank transfers, emails tying him to a $7 million scam. Photos of him with Bethany, my wife, in our home. His voice chilling from Elise's bug. You walk, I'll burn you. Gasps erupted, phones flashing as investors recorded. I kept my tone lethal. This man blackmailed my wife, framed me for fraud, and cheated his clients. Disruption? He's a lie. Chaos exploded. Tyson lunged for the mic, face red. This is slander. He's unhinged. But Lila played another clip, his email to Bethany. Come with me to Seattle. Casey's nothing. The hall roared, brokers shouting, cameras zooming. Claudia grabbed the mic. This is over. Security hauled Tyson off, his curses drowned by the crowd. I stepped down, heart-pounding, Shane clapping my shoulder. You burned him alive, man. I didn't smile. The war wasn't won. Outside, Denver's night was cold, snowflakes swirling under streetlights. My phone buzzed, a text from Bethany. I saw the stream. I'm so sorry. Please, let's talk. I ignored it, my mind on Tyson's last glare. He wasn't done. Neither was I. I drove to the office, needing clarity. Lila was there, eyes bright. You're trending, Casey. Reddit stories is eating this up. I frowned. Good. Let it spread. She handed me a coffee. What's next? I leaned back, the dossier heavy. Victor's turn. The first twist hit like a gut punch. At 2 a.m., Elise called. Bramwell, Tyson's not running. He's at a warehouse meeting someone. I sat up, bourbon forgotten. Who? Elise's voice was grim. Your buddy Shane. My blood ran cold. Shane, my brother in arms, my backup. You're wrong, I snapped. Elise sighed. Check your email. I opened my laptop, hands shaking. Elise's file showed texts from Shane's burner phone to Tyson dated last week. Bramwell's closing in. Keep me clean. A photo Shane at a bar with Tyson weeks ago passing a USB. My chest tightened. Shane wasn't just a bystander, he was a traitor. I didn't sleep. At dawn, I called Shane to a construction site snow dusting the cranes. He showed up casual, a coffee in hand. Heard you crushed it? He said, smirking. I slid my phone across the texts on screen. Explain. His face fell, the act crumbling. Case, listen, I cut him off, voice ice. You sold me out. For what? He looked away, jaw tight. I owed Tyson $50,000. Bad investments. He said he'd wipe it if I fed him intel. I didn't know it'd go this far. I stepped closer, towering. You knew enough. I walked away, his apologies fading into the hum of machinery. Shane was dead to me. The second twist cut deeper. Nora called at noon, voice trembling. Casey, there's more about Bethany. She's been hiding something. I frowned, gripping the phone. What now? Nora swallowed. She's been meeting a lawyer. I found emails she's gathering evidence against Tyson. My mind reeled. Evidence, Nora continued. She's been passing it to a DA trying to protect you. She didn't tell you because she was scared. I hung up stunned. Bethany, the woman who'd broken me, was fighting for me. I drove to Nora's where Bethany was staying. She looked fragile, eyes red. Casey, I raised a hand. Truth. Now. She nodded, voice low. I've been working with a DA for weeks, giving them Tyson's files. I didn't want you dragged into my mess. I stared, torn between rage and awe. Why not tell me? She looked away. I didn't want you to hate me more. I paced, mind racing. Bethany wasn't just a victim, she was a player risking everything to undo her mistakes. The third twist landed like a bomb. Lila texted at midnight, frantic, Casey, someone's leaking your dossier to the press. I rushed to the office, snow soaking my jacket. Lila pulled up the logs, an anonymous email traced to Mara, Bethany's sister. My gut twisted. Mara Lila showed me the email. Tyson's scam is bigger than you think. Ask Casey Bramwell. Attached was my dossier with notes in Mara's style. But the kicker, she'd added her own files texts, proving she'd been Tyson's mole, feeding him Bethany's secrets, only to turn on him now. Mara wasn't just jealous, she was flipping sides, exposing Tyson to save herself. I didn't confront Mara. Instead, I built a trap. Elise hacked her account's $400 for a dark web contact, revealing emails where she'd egged Tyson on, pushing him to blackmail Bethany while playing the loyal sister. Her motive, envy of Bethany's life mixed with guilt. She'd betrayed her own sister, then tried to redeem herself by leaking the truth. It was a mess, but it gave me leverage. The fourth twist was a blade. Elise called at 3 a.m., voice tense. Victor's not just dirty, he's desperate. I sat up, pulse spiking. What's he doing? Elise's voice was low. He's meeting Tyson's fixer tonight, trying to pin the scam on you and Bethany. I opened Elise's file, emails, recordings, proof Victor had funneled $900,000 through Tyson's startup using my portfolios as a shield. If it stuck, Bethany and I would both be ruined. Victor wasn't just a traitor, he was a coward, sacrificing us to save his skin. I didn't confront Victor. Too risky. Instead, I planned my endgame. The firm's board meeting was in 2 days, a closed session with 15 execs. My stage. I spent 48 hours preparing. Lila and Elise compiled a Fortress Tyson's $7 million scam, Victor's $900,000 bribe, Shane's $50,000 deal, Mara's double-cross, Nora's past, Bethany's blackmail. I didn't tell Bethany. She was a wild card, her own battle with the DA unfolding. The morning of the meeting, I got a text from her. I'm testifying tomorrow. I love you, Casey. Always will. I stared at it, torn. Love. After this, I didn't reply. The board meeting was my reckoning. I walked in, dossier in hand, Victor at the head, all smiles. Casey, good to see you, he said, oblivious. The execs settled, expecting routine updates. I stood, voice like steel. We need to talk about integrity. Lila patched in, remotely lit the screen. Tyson's crimes, Victor's bribes, Shane's betrayal, Mara's schemes, Bethany's blackmail. The room froze, faces paling. Victor stammered. This is absurd. I played his email. Pin it on Bramwell. He's expendable. The board erupted. Victor shouted denials, but the dossier was a noose. Security escorted him out, his empire crumbling. Tyson was arrested that night, his warehouse raided, his fixer flipping to the feds. Victor faced charges as legacy Ash. Shane sent a letter from Boulder begging forgiveness, but I burned it. Mara vanished, her betrayal public, her redemption too late. Bethany's testimony sealed their fates, 18 months for Tyson probation for her. My portfolios were cleared, my name untarnished, a promotion dangled. But victory tasted like rust. I'd won the battle, but my home was a ruin. I met Bethany at a park months later, the Rockies looming under a gray sky. She looked different, quieter, raw. "I'm rebuilding," she said, eyes steady. "I don't expect you to stay Casey, but I'm trying to be the woman you loved." I studied her, searching for the spark we'd lost. "I don't know if I can," I said, voice raw. She nodded, tears brimming. "I'll keep trying for you." I walked away, her words a weight I couldn't shake. Lila became my rock, her wit a lifeline, though nothing romantic sparked. Nora rebuilt our trust over coffee, her honesty a quiet anchor. I threw myself into work, landing a $8 million portfolio that cemented my name. At night I'd sit by the fire pit, bourbon in hand, replaying Bethany's laugh, Shane's loyalty, Victor's handshake. Was I right to burn it all down, to expose them so brutally? Or did I lose more than I gained, chasing justice over love? Months later I saw Bethany at a brewery alone, sipping a stout. She looked like herself again, strong, real. She caught my eye, offered a small smile. I didn't approach, but I didn't look away. Nora said Bethany was mentoring young marketers, her business clean now. I kept building, forging a new life, scars and all. The pain shaped me, but it didn't break me. I'm still here, standing tall. What would you have done? Would you have fought, forgiven, or let it all go? Can love survive a betrayal this deep? Or is it better to walk away and rebuild alone? You're here because this story meant something. Don't scroll away without leaving a like, a thought, and your subscription. Revenge Forge is where real stories find their voice in yours.